Good day, everybody. I want to give some tips on growing broccoli. I've been growing broccoli for many years now, and I just want to pass a few tips on to help you out if you're new to growing broccoli, or if you're thinking about growing broccoli. Uh, Maybe some of these tips will help you, and you don't have to, go through all of the trial and error that I went through. But the first tip, is grow your broccoli in the fall months. Um, that's just the best time of the year to grow broccoli. They just do much better in the fall. So I'm in zone 8 in the south. So here, the best time of the year to I set out the little plants. And the best time of the year to set out the little plants is usually at the beginning of September. So if you're gonna plant them by seed, like if you want to plant different varieties of what you see in the store, then you want to, maybe start 3 or 4 weeks ahead of that. So you have a nice little plant to set out um, around the first part of September. Now I do sometimes stagger my broccoli because I like to eat it fresh. You can blanch it and freeze it, but sometimes it'll help if you can stagger them, like plant, because you can plant broccoli from September on out through the middle of October. So sometimes I'll plant, 6 plants. 2 weeks later, I plant another set of six, and so on and so forth. That way you don't have as many ready at one time. Now this year, I planted a lot right here all at one time. I think I set these out the first of September, and then I planted this small row right here at the first of October because we're gonna have a big family gathering uh, this month. So I wanted a lot of broccoli, to cook and let people take home with them. So, but anyway, if you can stagger your broccoli, that's a good tip as well. The third tip is, always space your broccoli out. Um, I, you want to put them at least 2 feet apart. Some of mine are a little bit further apart than that, but um, you want to give them plenty of airflow because they, to me, are susceptible to like a fungus. They get the yellowing of the leaves real fast. Now, a lot of that can be due to a nitrogen deficiency because they a very nitrogen hungry plant early on because they put a lot of energy in forming that head. So, you know, you want to give them, plenty of airflow, and you want to give them their own space so you can fertilize them. The fourth tip or the next tip is always make sure you I give my broccoli plants plenty of nitrogen. Now I put them in a put a lot of compost around the root system, which will aid the plant later on when they start to do the side shoot production. But early on, you want to make sure it gets plenty of nitrogen pretty quick. So I always, use a liquid fertilizer mix. I put the Miracle Grow, this high in nitrogen. I mix that in my watering can. I just follow the directions on how much to put per gallon, and then I put about a tablespoon of liquid fish fertilizer. So I make that slurry, and I come out, at least every, I don't know, 5 to 6 days, 7 days, and just saturate the base of the plant with that. And I create a little swell around my plant so that liquid fertilizer just saturate right around the plant. Now I keep that going. I wait for the plants to get established, kind of like these have gotten established. These been in the ground about a month. So I wait for them to kind of get established first before I start that process. So I started this process on these about a week ago. And I continue to do that, for a month or so until they start forming the heads. Like these now are starting to form the little small heads. So once they start doing that, I know I've got the plant to a healthy enough state where it can start forming the broccoli. So I kind of start pulling back on doing the liquid fertilizer, every 5 days, 5 or 6 days, because I don't want to over fertilize them. Besides, I've gotten them to once you get them to that point, they should be able to take care of themselves, and then that compost around my root system will take care of them the rest of the way. Now I may come out and if I feel like I need to, I may come out and do a little granular fertilizer. Or I put a little bone meal around them, but for the most part, once you get them off to a good start, they can start taking care of themselves. But um, also a healthy broccoli plant gonna have that blue tint to them. If you look at everything else, it's kind of green. And once they have that blue tint, they're healthy and they got plenty of nitrogen. Another tip I want to add is since broccoli can be real susceptible to like a fungus and the yellowing of the leaves. And like I said, sometimes it can be hard to tell if that's due to a nitrogen deficiency or if it's some kind of fungus. But if you feeding it pretty good and you still see that yellowing of the leaf, it's best to just go ahead and treat it with a vegetable fungicide. So what I do is I just, get any kind of vegetable fungicide you see in your garden store, and I mix it, about a tablespoon in this little watering can, little spray bottle, and I just put like a tablespoon of the garden pesticide in there too. Even though I don't really have a problem with pests during this time of the year, I just put a little bit of pesticide in there too, because sometime early on when it's still warm, you may have a little bit of pest invasion that we had on these. But the best thing to do is just to spray the backside of the leaf. You don't want to get any spray near the center of your plant where your broccoli head is going to be growing. But the reason why you want to spray the backside of the leaf is because the front of the broccoli plant is waterproof. So if you'll see, the water just beads right up off of it. So it does no good to treat the front side of it. So what you want to do is just lightly mist the backside of the leaf. I can't do it with one hand, but you want to lift it up with one hand and just lightly mist the backside of the plant. And just periodically, do that especially if you start to see a little yellowing, just to give you a little more assurance that you're not having any kind of fungicide problem. Um, but we'll be back and we'll go over some additional tips when it's time to harvest. All right, y'all. Today is December the 2nd, and we are gonna harvest some more broccoli. We harvested a few heads already, but I want to go over some final tips on harvesting broccoli. The number one rule is don't let your broccoli sit on there too long. Um, a lot of times I've been guilty of letting the broccoli sit on there for a long time trying to get the biggest head I can possibly get, and it will get bigger because these little flower heads, they'll start swelling up. But you want them to get them while they kind of real tight and small, because that's when they have their best flavor. They're a little more tender. Uh, they have just like I say, a better flavor to them. Whereas if you let them sit on there too long, the stem part will get kind of tough. It gets kind of tough to eat. It's almost like you get the impression that when you're cooking it, you didn't cook it long enough. But really, it's because the broccoli is kind of tough. So when it's like this right here, it's nice and tender to eat. You can even eat it raw like this, or you can just steam it for about 5 or 6 minutes, and it'll just be perfect. You'll see the broccoli; it'll kind of let me find an example. When it's sitting down in the plant like that, okay, that's like one sign that it's not ready. But when it start popping up out of the plant like that one, and it start forming you can start seeing the definition of the florets at the top of the head. When it's nice and when it's down in the plant, it's real smooth, then you know it's not ready yet. But when it start popping up out like a timer, that's kind of an indication that it's ready. Soon as you start seeing that, it's a good idea to go ahead and start harvesting it. When you harvest the broccoli, you want to you want to come about maybe 1.5 inches, no more than 2 inches below the stem, the main stem. You don't want to go too low down in there because you'll actually start forming the florets will start forming in the base of the stem. So if you go too low, you might hinder that side shoot production. Um, Also, if you go too high, then the top of that stem can rot, and then could rot down into the base of the stem and damage the plant. So it's you want to. It's not rocket science. It had to be perfect, but like I said, you want to come maybe 1 or 2 inches down below the florets, or the florets are here. So you want to come down maybe about 1 inch and cut it. Now you can use a knife, or if you have some snippers like this that you can wrap all around the stem, they'll be fine. So that is a nice head of broccoli. So it's a nice, beautiful head there. All right. Yep. So and that's how you want the plant to look. Should look something like that. Now, soon after you cut the main head off, it should start putting energy in forming the florets. That's another reason I encourage you to go ahead and harvest your main heads. So the plant still has enough energy in it to put out a nice side shoot production. Um, Another thing it helps to know is the variety that you plant. This right here is the Green Magic. So it didn't put out a very, very big head. So some varieties don't put out a big head. So you can sit there for a while waiting on it to put a bigger head out, and it's not going to do it. So it helps to know the size head that, you know, the variety you're growing is going to put out. And just to, you know, reemphasize the other tip about staggering your broccoli, these right here hadn't even really started. It looked like that one right there is just now starting to form the remnants of a head. So um, these right here are just getting started. So while you harvesting and enjoying these broccoli, then you got these right here that are waiting to form a head. So that's just another little tip on why it's good to stagger your broccoli if you can. But um, but anyway, man, I hope this video helps you. If you're new to growing broccoli, even if you got a lot of experience growing broccoli and you think the video helped you, or if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.